Ladies and gentlemen, let's call this meeting to order. Thank you. We've invited John Sullivan to give the invocation, if you'd all stand. And following the invocation, Michael Bertrand will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America flag.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless us this evening. Show us the wisdom of your will. Have us follow it, and we're grateful for this gathering, for this fellowship. Please bless us in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, so now join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes.
We have a quorum. On the back of our agenda is the minutes of our last meeting that was held on June 28th. We'd like to take a vote and approve those minutes. I'd entertain a motion.
I move the minutes be approved.
Thank you. Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have some official guests we'd like to recognize. Pete Livermore's back here, haven't got his attention yet. Thank you. And Jim Wilson is our sitting judge back here, not running for re-election. You're not up this term, right? Correct. We've got running for election, Jim Shirk. And Dennis in the back there. And who did I miss? Brad. Where are you?
He's not here.
Brad's not here. You got to come here to be recognized. Okay, in addition, we have Jake and Chad over here. We can stand up. These are individuals that are with the Romney campaign. Jake is over all of northern Nevada, which essentially means to Romney everything but Clark County. So geographically, he's got some talent to do. Chad is going to be the Carson City Romney representative, and I'll give him a minute later in the program to talk about their new location that they have here in Carson. Okay, election of new members. One of our new members will be Jim Shirk, if you'll stand up. Another new member would be John Claudino. Thank you. By voice vote, we'd like to extend an invitation to these individuals to be new members of the Carson City Central Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Shirk. Okay. Item number 7. Oh, motion carries. Item number 7 is our Treasurer's Report. Just to let you know that the Treasurer's Report will be available on request, and our Treasurer is Ann Nenemaker, so she's the one you request it from. And she likes to pass this bucket around, so we chip in a few bucks for this meeting, and we appreciate any contributions. Number 8, Century Club. Marie Bensinger is absent, so we'll skip that. So we're down to number 9, Carson City Republican Women. Janice wants to take a few minutes and discuss the activities of the Carson City Republic of Women, plus.
I just want to invite every single one of you to Obama's retirement party. Yeah, his birthday is August 4th, and so we're doing our retirement party on his birthday in honor of him. And it will be at the Weaver Airport, or just at the airport at the Weaver hangar. We'll have from 8 to 10 in the morning. And the candidates will all be there, right, Jim?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Dennis?
Yep.
Very good. And we'll do, if you want, you can come and give them a donation while you're there. We'll have some activities for you to participate in, like golf and basketball, and maybe retire some old clunkers or something, you know, just like Obama. So we'll just have a light continental breakfast, just a good time to come together and enjoy ourselves retiring Obama. So please come, and I don't know if we have flyers for that, but
A live feed.
99.1 will be there to kind of get people's opinion of what's happening. We'll have some boards, signboards that you can write a note to Obama, a card that we will be mailing to Obama for your opinions, so come and tell me what you think. And of course, Chad will be there, maybe Jake, maybe not, but we'll have representatives from Governor Romney there. And then second of all, I have another capacity other than Republican women, and that is I'm doing the house parties for Romney. So anybody that would like to do a house party, please come and sign up for a date between now and the end of October. And it's non-threatening. Just let your neighbors know.
What a house party is.
Invite your neighbors, your friends to come, and we fill them in on how they can help with the Romney campaign. A lot of people have never gotten involved before. And it gives us a chance to explain how they can help, and then also a little bit of time to educate them on who Mitt Romney really is, because I think that many of you in this room don't know what kind of man we have running for President of the United States. I really hope that you are not holding your nose to vote for Mitt Romney. I hope you are studying him out and know that he is a true American and can, maybe not the way we'd want to do it, but he can turn this country around if we help him and support him. So if you'd like, let's sign up for a house party. Thank you. You want to sign up for a house party?
No.
Good for you.
What's involved in the house party? Yeah, first of all, you raise your hand and say you'd like to have one. Second, we'll give you some invitations. You can spread them to whomever you want to, people at church, people in your neighborhood. You can have as many house parties as you want. We will send a facilitator to your party that will conduct the meeting for you. So all you have to do is provide the physical location and invite people to come. And then we will ask those individuals if they would like to have a house party. And we have a list of facilitators that will go to the various house parties and conduct the meeting, answer questions about Romney. We're trying to get people to, number one, learn more about what Mitt's about, and number two, maybe they have some ideas for him and his campaign, so if they'll submit ideas, we will forward them up the chain. So that's what a house party is. Like you said, it's non-threatening. Precinct organization, events, and miscellaneous, Carol Howell. Following Carol will be Lori.
I'll do this here since I've got all these papers.
Okay.
Last month we asked for your help and suggestions on our float. We got a fabulous suggestion that we are going to carry out. We will be having an elephant on the float. Where are you, Morris? back here, is going to be doing the framework. The elephant is going to be standing with his front two paws on a stack of books that says terrorism, socialism, Marxism, and I'm not sure what else it's going to do. The perimeter of the float will have all of the different militaries for all of the different services and wars, the hats lining the float. So anybody that's interested in helping is good with your hands, can paint paper mache, get your hands dirty, help us build this. See Morris or myself and we'll get you signed up and helping put this float together. We're also going to be having on the Nevada Day, after the parade, we're going to be doing a barbecue for all of our candidates so that they can come out and stand and right in the middle of Carson Street, across from the Ormsby House. You shaved your gizmo. Sorry, I just saw that. I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry. We're going to have a barbecue across the street from the Ormsby House. And Jose and John, where is John? John Sullivan are going to take over that committee and put that together. That will allow our candidates to stay in one spot and shake hands with all of the people that come by that location. So we're pretty excited about that. How many of you would be interested in attending an election night party to watch the results?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Come on, Jim. Winning hand. Come on. Okay, we have started looking at venues for that, and that was kind of a first query about it, so stay tuned. Something else I'd like you to start thinking about, and that's November 7th. We're going to have poll watchers, and we're going to need phone callers to get out every single Republican that hasn't voted by the 6th. So think about which one of the two you would like to do, either sit at the poll and do the poll watching, or come down to either headquarters or the Mitt Romney campaign headquarters to call all of those individuals. You'd be surprised how many of them we found in 2010 that forgot it was election day, forgot to go vote. Just because we called them, they got on in their car and went down and voted. We found people that weren't able to get to the polls. Morris took a few of them in his truck. I won't go into that story. But getting out the vote is extremely, extremely important, and we need everybody's help on November 6th. So either vote early and plan to help at the polls or at the headquarters, or vote early on the 6th and come in and vote. So those are a couple of things I'd like you to plan to do. Start thinking about which of the two you'd like to do. We have one project we've dubbed the August Project, and I'm going to get into more of that after the meeting this evening. So I'm going to ask everybody after we adjourn, don't get up, stay in your seat, and we'll go over this project real quickly and fill you in on what this is, but it is extremely important. Mitt Romney's campaign has told us that they are figuring this race is going to be within 500 votes in the state, not in the county. 500 votes could win or lose this state. We have 806 Republicans registered that are inactive, and that's what the August Project is. So stay tuned after the meeting and we'll go into all of that.
Thank you. Larry? Some people say when there's negative press, why don't we retaliate or respond back?
Okay, this is on behalf of Ron Connect. With regrets, I have to miss tonight's meeting to attend a long-planned birthday party for my daughter. You all are, of course, like family, but Karen, Kathy, 2 grandmoms, etc. are closest family. Concerning the story in yesterday's paper, look for clarifications soon that show that my firing by PUC bureaucrats was political, malicious, and completely unwarranted, especially in view of my strong professional record. The reasons that were never given to me were based on false allegations concerning 2 incidents, and the AG's office found that there is no evidence for one of them and that there is not sufficient evidence on the other one, and it could be determined to be de minimis. Saying there was insufficient evidence to warrant even further investigation, the AG's office closed the case, proving the complaint to be meritless, political, and malicious. Let's go forward for a great Republican victory up and down the Nevada ballot this year. Ron Connect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chad, take a minute.
Never talked into a microphone before, so sorry if I'm too loud or too quiet here. First off, I wanted to say thank you to Jay for letting me speak here. I really appreciate that, and I also have a few other thank yous that I want to throw out there. First off, Carol Howell, you've been absolutely amazing so far. Thank you for all the help and support that you've given us. Anything from showing me around the town and what places are good to eat to helping decorate our office and being an ear to listen to myself when I have some complaints. So thank you so much for that. Also wanted to say thank you for all the support from everyone in this community so far. I just moved up here about 2 weeks ago, so really appreciate everything that you've done so far. Be it stocking our office with supplies, coming in to spend your time to volunteer and really make a difference, or just making me feel welcome. I really appreciate it. A little background on myself. Like I said, I just moved here about 2 weeks ago. I'm really excited to be here in the Carson City area. Could not be more excited. I'm from the Bay Area in California, and graduated college a few years ago, and just really excited to be here and really make a difference. As you all know, the Team Nevada office just opened up, and we're having our official grand opening this Sunday at 2 o'clock. So I'd like to extend the invitation to all of you to come out and help welcome us and spread the word throughout the community. Please get whoever you want to, whoever would be interested in coming out to our office. Senator Orrin Hatch and Senator Dean Heller are both going to be out to support us as well, so feel free to spread the word on that. Also, as far as our Team Nevada office is concerned, it's really important to, like I said, spread the word because it's absolutely essential to get volunteers out to the area. There's a few different ways that you can help within the campaign, and we would really appreciate absolutely anything that you could do to help us out. First off, as Janice said, the house parties are extremely important, and I want to give a personal thank you to her as well for spending all the time and effort and really coordinating those. That's something that's extremely beneficial and something that the Obama campaign did a really good job on during the last campaign, and that's part of the reason why we lost here in Nevada. So thank you for making that push to really turn things around this time. We appreciate it. Other than that, there's 2 other ways that you can really help out. One is phone banking, which Jake is going to go into a little bit right after I'm done. And the other is setting up precinct walks. We've got packets together with people's addresses, their names, exactly who we're targeting. And it's very important to go out and spread the word to those people. So anyone that can help out with that, we really appreciate it. Other than that, our office is located about a block south of the Republican headquarters. We're going to be open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if you ever want to come by, that's the place to pick up signs, to pick up bumper stickers, and to come really show your support through volunteering and even stopping by. We really appreciate seeing anyone. Other than that, we are also going to be out for Obama's retirement party, something that we're really looking forward to. And that's also a super Saturday throughout the state, something that we're really focusing a major push on precinct walks and phone banking that day. So we'll have all the materials that you need there to go straight from the event into precinct walks, and it's something that's, like I said, absolutely essential to our campaign here. So if you can help out with that afterwards, we'd greatly appreciate it. We actually have a sign-up sheet, the Team Nevada one's over in the corner there, and anyone that's willing to put in some time and effort towards us, please sign up and give us your information so we can let you know as those things are happening. Other than that, thank you so much for having me, and like I said, I'll pass it on to Jake next.
It's good to see friendly faces in here. Some of you I've been able to work with and interact personally, and some of you I'm sure we'll see around regularly. My name is Jake Fulmer, as Chad mentioned, and as Chairman Baldwin mentioned. I get the luxury of covering everything from Elko to Pahrump. So it's been a lot of days on the road. So it's good to be back in the Washoe and the Carson areas. It's where I get to call home. I really don't even need to say anything more after Chad. You're in good hands. If you want to know how to make a difference, Chad and Carol are able to tell you. I think that, well, let's just run a real quick experiment. Raise your hand if you voted in the last election. Ooh, let me try real quick, go back now. Raise your hand if you voted in the special election that we just held. Okay. Now raise your hand if you voted in, keep them up. Who voted in 2010? Who voted in 2008? 2006? I was off on that year. 2004? 2002? Okay. Who here loves getting political calls? Have you seen the difference? Every single one of you that raised your hand because you vote in every election doesn't need a reminder. Research has shown, as best as we can find, that there is this group of voters that are, I'm not even going to say on the far right, I'm just going to say they're firmly planted in good, strong Republican roots, and there are voters that are firmly planted in the Democratic roots. Both of them are always going to get out and vote. But like your child that needs to be told to do the dishes or clean his room or take out the garbage 3 or 4 or 5 times before they actually do it, there's this group of voters in the middle that need that. And if you need any evidence, don't just trust the kid wearing the Romney t-shirt. Carol, did people really forget that it was voting day? Do you know how many people do that? Lots. Thousands upon thousands. And so I realized that when we think about volunteering in the campaign office, there's a tendency to think, oh, I don't like receiving those phone calls. Thank heavens. Because you vote. You actually do what we need to do. But I'm telling you as best as I can, and with as much truth and just simplicity as I can share, that these phone calls and that these precinct walks where we get to talk to voters, you know, if we're in the business of getting more voters, well, we got to talk to more voters. And we've done our best to be able to streamline the process so that we talk to just the ones that we need to be able to do so to win this election. What Carol and Jay have said, and Jay shared it with me again earlier tonight, our best predictions show that this really truly can come down to a few hundred votes statewide. I know that you have amazing voter turnout in Carson City. I know that, and we are so grateful that it's 86% Republican, and then it was lower on the Democrat side. I can't remember if anybody knows those numbers.
56.
56 for...
% of the Republicans voted.
56% of the Republicans voted. Now, what if we can find those less prone to vote? Sometimes I call them lazier voters. What if we can find, out of that 44%, and find 10% more, that if we give them the reason to vote against Barack Obama, and we give them the reason to vote for Mitt Romney, and then during the 2 weeks that it's early voting, and it's the day of the election, we give them a reminder to actually get out and do it. What if we get 10% more? That's what modern campaigns are built around. It may not be fun all the time, it may not be glamorous, but we'll bribe you with cheap pizza, we'll feed you coffee and donuts on Saturday mornings, and we'll do our best to make it a welcoming environment. I'm going to pass around a clipboard, and I know that everybody's already signed in or checked off, but Chairman, if it's okay with you, we'll pass around this clipboard because I know that you're all active and you're busy. But ask yourself, who here wants to attend an enjoyable victory party on election night? Now, are you willing to do something about it? There are things that you can do. I promise that we will do our best to be effective. Some of you have been doing this a little bit longer than us, and there are things that work in Carson County, and there are things that don't. We're doing our best to learn from our mistakes and to learn from history, to learn from what the Obama campaign did 4 years ago. These house parties, I can't tell you how important they are. You will find Republicans, your friends, your neighbors that say, I want to get this guy out of office. I have no idea what I can do to help. Tell me. And that's what they're for. So without that, I'll pass around this, and if you'll just let us know what you're interested in doing, we'll we'll let you know what you can do. So, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to interview, yes sir,
May I make a quick statement?
concerning,
Republican stuff going on here.
okay,
Okay. My wife and I attended the Herman Cain rally this week. It was really good. There were about 500 people, I'm guessing. I don't really know. But one of the problems that I'm seeing, and it's kind of tied up with what these two gentlemen were talking about, I think we saw 2 people from Carson City there, up in Reno. And it works the other way. I don't see anybody from Reno ever coming down to our events. And I get this picture that there's like, we've got our nice little club, or our group of people working. They've got theirs. And these two gentlemen are trying to go all over the state, getting everybody together on the same page. And I don't see it on a day-to-day basis. And I think we have to work on doing that better, in my opinion. Okay?
thank you. I'd like to now introduce Gary Schultz, our first chairman, and he'll introduce our speaker for the evening.
Our speaker tonight is the Executive Director of Carson City Chamber of Commerce. I met her about 2.5 years ago for the first time, and my first impression was she's a very upbeat, positive person. She's probably one of the most informed people in Carson City when it comes to our business community, city government, and our school district. So she's here tonight to share her business climate here in Carson City, give us an update, and talk about some of her concerns for the upcoming legislature session that'll be beginning in 2013. So I consider this person our #1 ambassador in this community. And please welcome Ronnie Hammerman.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Whoa, this is pretty hot, isn't it? I want you to know, Jay, do you live in Carson City?
Myself?
Yeah. Are you going to be living here?
Yes, I already am.
In Carson City?
Yes.
Okay.
Right off the airport.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because so many people, say they live here, but they really don't. But I have to tell you, both of you look like you could be Romney's sons. So hand-picked. So I'm sure you'll have all the young Republican women voting for Romney because of you too. So it's good. When Gary came to me about a month or so ago to ask me to speak here, I thought, I'm not political. In fact, the chamber is apolitical, and it so states in our bylaws that we are apolitical. Because I tell you what, if you choose a side, you could be on the wrong side. And that's really not what we're about. We're about, as Gary said, to be the cheerleaders of Carson City, and to also focus on what really makes any community go, and that is the business climate. Because without business, there's no taxes, we don't have things to buy. I think that Carson City has become a much better place since the 2000 census, when we reached the over 50,000 mark, because that is when Lowe's came in, and Costco, everybody's favorite. You all remember having to go to Reno for everything. And we tend to forget how much Carson City has grown in actually, a very short time. So if you're looking since 2000, that's only 12 years. And we just have such short memories. Do you remember what was at the Casino Fandango? What was over there? Supply One. I mean, do you remember that dump? Okay? And look what it is today. And we just take that for granted. I also remember the Silver City Mall. Do you guys remember the Silver City Mall with the herbs that was all boarded up? Yeah, I don't even know what some of the stuff was over there. And then, of course, the Silver City Mall came down. Many of us came to Carson City, ourselves, my husband, John, back there, and I, at a time when, you know, it didn't look so great here, but for us, we thought it looked really great. We were coming in from San Diego. San Diego is beautiful, but my God, if you want to look just like in LA and others, if you want to look at some really bad spots, you know, some awful spots, and the traffic and everything else, Carson City was like heaven. And actually, 13 years later, it's even more, because we don't have to go to Reno unless you travel. And we don't want an airport here anyway. We have a beautiful airport. Let the governor's jet come in and out of there. That's fine with me, you know. But we certainly don't. Gary asked, or he just mentioned, that he wanted me to mention something about the political climate from the business community. Well, I will tell you, I'm going to really defer that to our good Assemblyman, Pete Livermore, whom I have a lot of contact with, because he's the one that I will call when the Assembly is in session and say what's going on. We know in advance, because we're members of the Nevada Taxpayers Association and others, that it's going to be a pretty contentious year. You know, election years tend to be always contentious, number one, and then after that we go into Nevada's legislative session, and taxes are always an issue. What I have never been able to understand is this, and maybe this is my Republicanism coming out, is that businesses, you know, drive the economy. They're the ones basically who hire people and pay the taxes and provide the goods and services. Now, Carson City is an interesting community because here, you know, about 40% of those who work in Carson City are government employees in one way, shape, or another. And that's, you know, that's school district, that's state government, that's city government. And if you look at the list of the biggest employers in Carson City, by the way, we are a consolidated community, so we're not a county, just to correct you on that.
I know.
We used to be Ormsby County, but we are Carson City, period.
Mess it up.
That's okay, I'll forgive you.
Thank you.
But, you know, so, and because we are a state capital, I think our downtown, no matter what people say, is really quite lovely. In fact, in the chamber, we have a lot of people that come find their way to the chamber. We're not always that easy to find, but say, gosh, this is such a lovely community. I need to, you know, find out more, give me a relocation packet. And it always sort of warms my heart that people do see what many of us, you know, take for granted. Carson City is beautiful. Yes, we have, you know, some things that are not so great all the time, but any community is that way. Overall, to address, Gary, what you had really wanted me to talk about, is that our economy, no matter what the naysayers say, there's a lot of negative people out there, especially now because there are things going on politically that, by the way, we have absolutely nothing to do with, okay? Is that Carson City's economy overall is very, very robust. Yes, you know, there are going to be some buildings that are empty, but guess what? They were empty before. Small businesses will continue, and the operative word is continue, to go in business and go out of business. I mean, anybody who knows small business know that basically longevity is between 3 and 7 years, and that's on the national, you know, scale as well, because generally you're undercapitalized. So you can't make it, you can't make it. But you know, compared with the rest of the state, we're doing very, very well. A lot of the statistics you see, basically even education-wise, really does not apply to a lot of northern Nevada, and in particular Carson City, because we have this big anchor down south called Las Vegas that tends to really pull down a lot of the stats. Yes, we have somewhat of a deficit in our city budget right now, but you know what? If you guys, I'm doing my job, I'll tell you, go out and spend a little bit more, we could probably take that deficit and, make it up. Another thing that people don't understand in our community is 80% of the land in Carson City is owned by state, federal, church, school district, whatever, non-taxable entities. 20% of us basically pay all of the taxes. And actually out of that 20, maybe it's really about 17% because there's about 3% of those that are the low-income homes, the senior homes and stuff that get somewhat of a tax break. So there's very few of us who are paying the full board. So when you think about that, we really are doing okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the new businesses that came to Carson City. And you probably know all of these names, but I think it's a good reminder. These are businesses that looked at Carson City. They didn't just put a pin in the map and say, I like sort of that location, it's close to California or whatever. They chose Carson City because they did their research, and hopefully we will support them. The newest one, and I hope that you will go there if you have never been there, and it's a wonderful store, is Cal Ranch, which took over the old Safeway place. And if you remember, there were a lot of people who were upset because Safeway went. We probably have more grocery stores in this community than anywhere I have ever lived. I mean, there's almost one on every other block. It's good for you to know, So, Safeway was a tired store. It was not going to upgrade. There were some people who were very fond of that store, but it was time. It was time. So they left. You don't hear anything about the Safeway store anymore. They cleaned that whole area up, and it's going to bring some new synergy to an area of town that really needs, some vitality. So please, if you have not been there, enjoy it. It's really rather a fun store for male and for females. Olive Garden is now about a year old. It opened, I think it's June or July of last year. And I will tell you what, this is another national company. They came to Carson City, Nevada, okay? They wouldn't have come here if they didn't think they were going to make it. They've got amazing marketing, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they checked us out really well beforehand. And we have been wanting an Olive Garden for a long, long time, and guess what? We have it. The Red Hut, which is Pete Livermore's favorite place for ice cream, okay, came down from the lake because...
I'll send you another picture.
I'm going to send you another. You took a picture of a banana split for me. So the Red Hut is very, very popular in Lake Tahoe. There was an empty store in South Carson City, and they came down here, and they're doing really rather well. You all have read, of course, in the shopping center that we lost, one of the restaurants there. Within a couple of months, a new restaurant came in here, and it's called Zen's. And I hope that you will, take the time to enjoy going over there as well. So that makes it. And then, of course, when we lost, I always forget the name of the store, but Kohl's had a choice of coming to Carson City or not. This is a national company, national retailer. They chose Carson City as well. If you go down to South Carson, that's basically the area that sort of sustains the rest of us, the rest of the city, because that's where all the car dealers are. And that's where a lot of new building is going on all the time. If you noticed, AutoZone is building a new building that should be open soon. Even Highway 50, there's something new happening there. If you've noticed over by the freeway interchange, there's a Mexican supermarket. So therefore we lost Safeway. So if you like Mexican food, that's the place to get your meats and stuff. I don't know if any of you were last week with the grand opening of the Sierra Nevada Health Center. That's a beautiful new health center for those who are lower income and cannot afford, the higher stuff. South of town, as I mentioned, could really be anywhere USA, but that's okay. As I said, they pay the bills. Michael Hull just went through an extensive remodel. We have a bunch of new auto dealerships as well. Our schools, I am so proud of our schools. Coming from San Diego, where the schools look like battle zones with graffiti and, you know, the fences and the whole bit. Here, you know, thanks to people like yourself who are the voters and have voted in all the elections I see, you know, we're pretty smart here in Carson City. We vote for what we think is important. And even though they say senior citizens, us seniors don't vote for things like school bonds, guess what? We have. And if you look at our schools, you know, they are great places for our kids. Something else I think that we tend to forget about our little city, we have so many open spaces to get out and to climb and enjoy and take our animals. And also many, many parks. Just about every community has a wonderful park. There are some pretty exciting things that are happening. The Kmart building, which seems to be the bane of our existence in this community. And the other thing, let me just add a little for a minute here, is we tend at Carson City, and I'm becoming like everybody else that's been here for a long time, to identify buildings. We don't have addresses. Everything is a building. So I don't know, you know, I'm hoping something, and I'll tell you about it in just a second, will go there, so that maybe we'll forget it was ever the Kmart building. So what we're looking there is, unfortunately, this city seems to only be able to do one thing at one time, and that's one egg in the one basket. And I'm hoping we did not lose our opportunity to encourage the private sector people who are looking at doing the Kmart building and making it into a sports complex and event center. That would be really critical, not only for the whole city, but most especially for North Carson City. You know, today, and over this weekend, we've got the AMA, the American Motorcyclist Association Women's Division here in Carson City, which we're very happy about. We don't have places for them to really meet. They're in the high school. I mean, thank God we have a beautiful high school, but it's just really odd that we don't have a place for them to meet, so let's hope that's going to happen. I sent Lori and our board members today, and you need to look at it tonight, a link that was on Carson Now. Please go tonight and look at it. You will hear Steve Neighbors talk about his vision for Carson City and how he feels so blessed to have, you know, to help us through these hard times. 2 days ago, you know, that old Stewart Title building, that, what's the name of the street, Proctor or whatever over there, that closed escrow. Steve Neighbors did purchase that building, and that will be turned into an incubator, not the kind for chickens, but an incubator #1. So he's looking to do more activity. And
what kind of incubator?
A business incubator. So if you have an idea, he wants to help you. You know, he feels very blessed to be able to help you. So that's part of what it's going to be. But Carson City's future, I think, is robust. There are some people who would have you believe that we're going to hell in a handbasket, and that, what are they, dying on the vine and all of these things. And if any of you read my articles, you know I always refute that. Please look around at Carson City. See it for what it really is. Many of us chose to live here. We weren't born here, we didn't go to school here, we didn't grow up here, but we chose Carson City for all the good things that it does have. Don't believe all the doom and gloom, and as I said earlier, just get out and enjoy the restaurants, enjoy the events that will be going on between now and the end of October. And in fact, there's so much to do, one never knows. And by the way, whoever thought 4,000 people would, on June the 30th, attend a gourmet truck festival, food festival or whatever the thing it was. I mean, 4,000, are we really that starved for interesting stuff? But anyway, it's a great place to live, work, and play. Chad, welcome to Carson City. I think you will enjoy it. We're glad to see some young faces here and young faces amongst us. So I think you will enjoy it. And please come to the chamber if we can help you in any way at all. I'd like to entertain any questions. I will not be talking about the library project, so don't ask that question. Yes.
Are there any new businesses that are looking to relocate here that you can talk about?
The Northern Nevada Development Authority.
Repeat the question.
Oh, are there any new businesses that we know about that are relocating? You've probably heard a lot of rumors about a lot of things. And you know what? A lot of them are just rumors. Like Unisys is supposed to be coming in. They were going to do a call center, but the call center was going to be in the building that Steve Neighbors just bought, that he's going to make into an incubator. So I don't think that's going to happen. Carson City, how should I say it? I don't know, honestly. We have a lot of competition. One of our biggest competitions is outside of Reno, and that's the Tahoe Regional Industrial Park. It's amazing there, and they're also along Highway 80, the corridor. So that's difficult. I know that we're trying to define ourselves. We were going to try to be a farming community, have a chicken ranch here, or whatever, and yogurt place and stuff that would have used incredible amounts of water, and then nobody could understand that, and they went to where they were supposed to go, into more farming communities. Yes?
Has the Northern Nevada Development Agency brought any businesses to Carson City in the last year? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Most of it is surrounding counties. But you've got to remember one thing about Carson City. We don't have a lot of land mass. We just don't have a lot of places for big companies to go. And they tend to, big companies don't tend to look just at the borders. They tend to look at the region. So NNDA will get things down in Douglas County, which doesn't help us. It will be in Lyon County, but that's where all the land is. And they tend to have better incentives than we do too. So, in government here, as I said, 80% of our land, a lot of it is BLM, is owned by some form of government or another, so we don't have that. We're sort of stuck. So.
What are they doing to get it unstuck?
Well,
here's the deal. Restaurants are nice, but if people don't have the money, if people don't have jobs that support those restaurants, they're just going to come and go. It's just a fact. The biggest employer in the whole valley is now down to 6 employees here, and they're going to be probably by the end of the year gone.
Who's that?
SOC out at the Minden Airport, and they had several hundred people working out there, plus 7,000 people overseas. And, those kind of companies pay well.
No, they do. We have a very
support a family on a restaurant wage, and those companies are just sucking that money right out and going to wherever. It's not staying here.
Well, again, I don't know, what did SOC do?
It's one of the largest. It's one of the largest international security companies in the world.
Oh, I never even heard of them. So, but we have a very good manufacturing base, off of Arrowhead out there that is doing rather well. A lot of the fortunes go where government, contracts go. So fortunately, with ClickBond and some of the others out there, they're doing pretty darn good. So, and when we talk about retail, one of the problems here, as I said in Carson City, 80% of the land is owned by a governmental entity, and you can't put private things on governmental land. So I don't know what to say about it. I mean, that's one of the double-edged swords about being a capital city. It's good, but yet it's bad. And downtown is mostly, if you look around, mostly government buildings that do not pay taxes.
When companies look to relocate here, do they share their demographic studies with you, with the city?
You know, I don't get overly involved with that because of NNDA, and they're sort of a quasi-governmental agency, and they get funded by the state of Nevada, although that is changing somewhat. So I work with them, but we tend to work more with the smaller retail businesses, because retail in Carson City is huge.
Well, I mean, like when Olive Garden looked to come here, and they did a study.
You know what? Olive Garden just came. They didn't talk to the city. They asked for no money. And by the way, for those of you who heard the rumor that they did ask for money, that is totally false. They did their own demographics because many of us went to Reno. And you know how they will ask you, what is your zip code? Well, they found that so many of us were going to Olive Garden there. And also they chose South Carson because that's where the freeway, if it ever gets done, is going to end. And of course, you know, Carson City is a big shopping mecca for not just for us, but they come from Bridgeport and they stay overnight to shop here. If you go to Costco, you know, it's all, half of them is California cars. This is good. This is new monies for Carson City. So we should not look, you know, Costco pays well. Some retailers pay very well. So we shouldn't look down at that. And the other thing too is when you have restaurants and you have good retailers in a community, that also adds to the quality of life. So, I mean, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. But I know that I'm happy that we've got some good restaurants, and I'm certainly happy I have Costco. You can eat there free every Saturday and Sunday.
Is Ormsby House ever going to open?
Oh. Well, you know, they say yes, we say no, they say yes, we say no. But I have to tell you, if you were a new person coming to the community that has never been here before, it's a beautiful building. They did a great job outside. Nobody would know that. We are rather frustrated because I'll tell you, when and if it opens, it will be quite a positive thing for downtown Carson City, because it's supposed to be a 4 to 5 star hotel, and it's something that our community could be proud of. But they say that there's political things there, so I don't know. Dennis?
I'd just like to add in regards to the Ormsby House, most of the problems getting that thing developed a long time ago were based right in City Hall. They created their own problems, and before we start hassling the owners too much, remember they are not using anything except their own money. They are not using tax dollars.
Exactly.
So whenever they can get it.
And actually, you know, in retrospect, they wish they would have imploded it. And that's why, you know, you have so many places, you know, where the old buildings are imploded, because it's almost impossible to, with the universal building codes or whatever, to bring it up to code. It's almost impossible, sir.
Right across the street from that, they may actually own it. I don't know the answer to this. There's a historic landmark called Jack's Bar, and it used to operate. Do they own that?
Yes, and I'll tell you what the story is about Jack's Bar, okay? I wish it were open. It was open when it was here, but apparently it's a very unsafe building. And they wanted to take it down. The Historical Society in the city said, no way. So what they did is they said, well, we'll take it down brick by brick by brick, and we will, you know, like they bring castles in from Europe or whatever, and we will mark all of that. And they said, no, we have to have it. So basically they said, I'm not going to repeat what they said, but they said, okay, so they went inside and they they have it pulled so that the building will not fall down. It's pretty unsafe. So it's closed for good reason, but I don't think they will open it. Maybe Pete knows more, but it was the Historical Society that gave them a fit.
Well, they originally purchased it because it came with an unlimited gaming license. They didn't want the spot being bought by somebody else competing with them across the street at the Ormsby House. That was the reason that they purchased the facility. The rest of the stuff, as you just described, is the fact of the building still standing today.
Right, and at least, you know, they did paint over the plywood, you know, so, I mean, that's a good thing. At one time, if you look at pictures of Carson City, anything that went out, it was the bare plywood, it looked awful. Yes?
The prison, do you think that will become a museum? And the second question is the V&T Railroad. Where do you think that's headed?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do the last one first. The V&T. The V&T has been on the docket for a long time. You saw the book the other night from our annual meeting. They've been talking about. First of all, I don't know why it ever went away. You know, talk about not planning well, because it closed, I think, in 1952 or something like that. And they made the mistake of pulling up all the tracks. It would have been so much easier had they kept the tracks there, okay? I think it could be a very good asset to Carson City. The problem is it needs to be closer to Carson City. A lot of people do not know how to get out there. I mean, I don't want to say, you know, I mean, we get calls all the time. Where is it? Where is it? They want to, you know, see it more. But, you know, it's nice to have the train. The people who ride it have really, really enjoyed it. And they are trying to make it go. There's been a lot of money poured into that railroad, and it certainly would be sad if it went away. So, you know, the problem is it's just seasonal at this point. So, I don't know. That's something that we don't get overly involved with as a chamber because we have a very active Convention and Visitors Bureau. So, and then the number one, the prison. Oh, keep your fingers crossed, folks, because there is a very active committee together, and I am on that committee that is working very hard. They are next week. They will be filing for their 501c3, and they want to make that into definitely a museum. Many other states have museums, you know, prison museums, and if you had a chance to go through it, it would really make a wonderful, you know, opportunity for a lot of people to know some of the other history of our community. And it will bring lots of people in. I mean, then that will give us 3 very viable, good museums. I don't know, you know, a lot of people also who live here don't take the advantage of going to the museums that we have currently. Nevada State Museum is amazing. I mean, it's amazing. And a lot of people in this community have not been there. Same way with the Railroads Museum. It's amazing. 2 wonderful attractions. And, you know, the trifecta would be if we could get that particular museum going. So please, if you can support us on that, you know, watch more in the newspaper for that. But there's a very active group who's really, I think they're going to get this going. And I think my time is up. One more?
Yes, is Apple coming to Carson? What is the...
No, that's Reno.
Oh, that's Reno.
That's Reno, yeah. So, but you know, we're doing okay. We're doing okay, so.
Let's give her a clap. I'd really like to see the prison become a bed and breakfast. I mean, who wouldn't love to spend the night in a cell, sleep on the floor, you know? You get hung in the morning.
Jay, that's what it was before they closed it.
Exactly. Some of the best food in town served out there. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. By and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Now, if you'll sit here for just a minute, Carol wants to explain her activity, and then you can really leave.
It's going to take more than just a minute.